Hey guys, it's a post-rain, warm June evening, and I just wanted to take some time today to talk about some of the books that I got for my birthday. Yeah, that did not work. I got way too nervous. Because we live in town, I have neighbors like right there, right here, just everywhere, and just the thought of somebody overhearing me talking awkwardly to a camera because I'm still not good at this. Oh, I'm just too self-conscious for that, so I chickened out, and then when I was looking back at my footage, it was way too loud out there anyways, hence why I've come inside. I'm sorry if you were enjoying the views of my garden. Anyway, the first book that I got is Faust by Goethe, probably the greatest poem originally written in the German language. This is part 1. I got a gift card from my coworkers at work for Indigo and Chapters, which is a massive bookstore here in Canada. So I promptly ordered Faust parts 1 and 2. I've been waiting a week to go pick them up at my local store, and then I got an email today that part 2 is unavailable, so I only received part 1. So I'm kind of sad about that, but I am very happy to at least start reading through this epic poem. Faust has always been on my reading list, as have The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe. I've just never gotten around to them, but my new novel that I'm currently working on here and there, sadly I haven't been giving as much time to it as I wish I could. I'm realizing that it has some kind of overlapping themes and settings as Faust. I listened to an awesome podcast on this poem a while ago by Hardcore Literature, Benjamin McAvoy, and it just really showed me how my novel is actually quite on track with this great poem, and I never even realized that. So I'm like, okay, now I have to read Faust and just seep in the Sturm und Drang and just feel the dark German woods around me, and I also do not read a lot of poetry. I really struggle with reading poetry, and it's something that I want to do more regularly. It's something I want to get better at. And so Faust is a poem. It's perfect. This is going to be my exploration of poetry for the summer. So anyways, I've started it. I'm going through and I'm annotating and underlining as I go. I've read part 1, the dedication, part 2, prelude on the stage, and part 3, prologue in heaven. Which, very interesting, Prologue in Heaven reads like the book of Job in the Bible. If you're familiar with that story, Satan comes to God. God asks him, "Where have you been?" Satan says, "I've been roaming the earth," sowing discord essentially. And then God says, "Have you considered my servant Job and how good he is?" And a similar thing happens here in Faust where God asks Mephistopheles, the Satan figure, if he's seen his servant Faust. And Mephistopheles says, yes, he has, and he kind of talks Faust down. He says, "Poor fool, his ferment drives him far. He half knows his own madness, I'll be bound. He'd pillage heaven for its brightest star, and earth for every last delight that's to be found. Not all that's near, nor all that's far, can satisfy a heart so restless and profound." So essentially Faust is this doctor, this intellectual, this man with this insatiable thirst for knowledge of the heavens and the earth. And I haven't gotten far enough in the play to delve too deep into this, but I know that he is this intellectual figure who is just learning as much as he can, and one day he realizes, what has this all been for? And so Mephistopheles, or Satan, sees this drive in Faust and sees it as a vice, sees it as something that's going to be Faust's downfall, because nothing, not in all of heaven and not in all of earth, can satisfy a heart so restless and profound as Faust. So this is some foreshadowing here where we're like, what is going to happen? What is going to happen to this man of insatiable curiosity? How is his search for knowledge, his quest for knowledge, going to end? And anyways, just like in the book of Job, the Lord says to Mephistopheles, go ahead, do what you want to Faust. See if you can tempt him. See if you can take him away from me. See if you can make him your servant instead of mine. Like in the book of Job, Mephistopheles can do whatever he wants to Faust, except kill him. He needs to remain alive. And so I am so excited to see where this goes. I know that this is a story of a man who makes a bargain with the devil, who sells his soul to the devil. So I know that Faust is going to have some sort of interaction with this Mephistopheles that is probably going to ruin his life. But I haven't gotten there in the poem yet, and I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited. I am just intrigued, and I'm so glad that I got this book for my birthday. So next, my husband got me this delightful vintage collection of Shakespeare plays, and I'm super pumped about these because I haven't read most of them. I have read As You Like It, and I love it. It's one of Shakespeare's best comedies. You know, it's about girls and boys and romance and marriage. It's set in the woods. It's about getting away into nature. I highly recommend As You Like It. Then there's King Lear, which I've never actually read, and I've studied Shakespeare in high school and at the university level, and never once been assigned to read King Lear. And so all I know about it is that it's the most tragic and gruesome of all Shakespeare's plays. And a lot of them are tragic and gruesome, so I don't even know what that means. But I'm excited to read King Lear for the first time and see what's up with that. And then Titus Andronicus. I have never heard of this play, but I did some research and I can tell you that I don't want to read this one. I know that sounds terrible, not wanting to read a Shakespeare play, but apparently Titus Andronicus is just full of murder. I think the body count in terms of deaths is the highest in this play out of any of Shakespeare's plays, but the worst part is that there's cannibalism, that apparently 2 men are baked into pies and then fed to their own relatives or something crazy like that. Cannibalism is just one of those things I cannot deal with. If it's in a book or a movie or a news article, cannot even look at it. Cannot deal with it. So I'm a little worried about this one. I don't know if I'm ever going to pick up Titus Andronicus. And then there's The Winter's Tale, which I never heard of either. Apparently it's one of Shakespeare's last plays. He wrote it around the same time that he wrote The Tempest. And those final plays are considered comedies, but also his romances. And so I think that this is a lighthearted romance of some kind. That's all I know about it. I haven't really had time to get to the introductions and read through and figure it all out. But I do hope to get to The Winter's Tale eventually, because I am intrigued by this lesser known, lesser read play. And then finally, I got the next 2 books in the Anne of Green Gables series. If you've been watching my videos, you know that my husband and I read 1, 2, and 3 together. Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island, and they were fantastic. It's honestly one of the best series of literature. It warms my heart in every way. And so we got number 4, Anne of Windy Poplars. In this one, Anne Shirley has left Redmond College in Green Gables behind to begin a new job as the principal of the high school in the dreaming town of Summerside. She takes the cozy tower room in a large house named Windy Poplars, living there with 2 elderly widows, Aunt Kate and Aunt Chatty, as well as their housekeeper, the irrepressible Rebecca Dew. Anne is soon faced with an unexpected challenge, however, in the form of the Pringles, also known as the royal family of Summerside, who let her know that she's not the person they wanted as principal of the school. But Anne is not one to be kept down, and she quickly finds her way into the hearts and lives of some of the town's other residents, including her disagreeable colleague, Catherine Brooke, and Elizabeth Grayson, her lonely neighbor. Yeah, sounds interesting. Doesn't sound like the most interesting book in the series, but then again, I've never been disappointed by a book in this series, so I'm sure it's going to be a delightful continuation of Anne's story. And then finally, number 5, Anne's House of Dreams. I like the looks of this one a lot more. This one sounds really exciting. Gilbert Blythe is finally a doctor, and at long last he and Anne Shirley are ready to say their vows. Yay! Childhood enemies to lifelong lovers. I love it. Soon husband and wife will be bound for a new life together in their house of dreams on the shores of Four Winds Harbor, near Gilbert's new medical practice in the village of Glen St. Mary. Of course, a new beginning brings fresh surprises and fresh problems to solve. Anne and Gilbert quickly find themselves entangled in the lives of their neighbors, including the lighthouse attendant, Captain Jim, with his sad stories of the sea. I already love that. Miss Cornelia Bryant, a formidable woman who always speaks her mind. Owen Ford, who longs to write the great Canadian novel. Love that. Somehow Owen Ford is the perfect name for somebody trying to write the great Canadian novel. And the tragically beautiful Leslie Moore, to whom Anne grows closer when her own perfect life is touched by heartbreak. So yeah, those are the 7 books that I've collected around my birthday, and I'm super excited to dig into all of them. I will probably let you know in a future video how I enjoyed them and what my thoughts were. So until then, take care and I'll see you next time.